네, 안녕하세요. 여러분의 협력자 엘라의 고아라입니다. 저는 지금 베를린에 나와 있는데요. 드라이버리라고 자동차 관련돼서 혁신 스타트업들을 돕는 인큐베이터가 있다고 합니다. 여기서 저 담당자 필립을 만나보도록 하겠습니다. Hi, Philip.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you. So I heard that this Drivery is very special place for the mobility startups. So would you give us like brief explanation?
Sure. Well, the driver is not only a co-working space, it's more a place where a startup can grow. So what we'd like to have is we would like to have a startup and a corporation, both very important, that they're both here, that they come here, they're both in the mobility sector, so they can actually help each other. All the companies here are all together, they're trying to grow and we are helping them. So we have different programs for corporations to get in touch with startups, and we are helping startups to get in touch with corporations. So that's a benefit for all of them.
I see. Then so far, are here only like a German startups or any other startup from different countries?
Yeah, sure. So we have very diverse communities. So we have startups basically from all over the world, especially from the Asia market. So we have partners in South Korea, in China, and Japan. And we are expanding there. We also have Drivery in China, for example. So this is very important for us that we help also companies in the Asian market to get to know the German market and basically to come here, and the other way around. So it's it's a very vice versa interactions that companies from here can basically also do business in Asia and the other way around.
Amazing. Okay. Then maybe then shall we look around?
Sure, I can show you around. I said in the beginning that we focus on the mobility market, but sometimes the mobility market is not the only thing that we need. We also have lots of startups and companies who are not in that sector, but are beneficial to the community and also to the driver itself. One of those companies is 3DK that we see over here. They are on different floors, and what they're doing is they do all those inlays for 3D printers, and they do a lot of 3D printing services. They have smaller ones, and they also have larger ones. If you just look around here,
Okay.
this we see here is also printed by 3DK. So they are capable of doing large prints for companies within our community. This is an example of a company who is not in the mobility sector, but very, very beneficial for all the companies that we have. We also have other examples. We basically want to have an ecosystem where we basically have everything that we need in-house. So from startups that are like freelancers, that they grow, maybe there are a couple of people, they share an office, then they're going to have an office, maybe they produce something, they can produce it right here at the Drivery. Even with like larger pilots and prototypes, we even have a company doing drones. So, I mean, like really cargo drones that can lift up to 400 kilos. So we are very, very diverse regarding our possibilities.
It sounds like here in Drivery has a really good ecosystem. Then this company, 3DK, so if they are making prototype for the startup here, then do they get the money right away from them or somebody is somehow like funded by Drivery?
Well, no one is actually funded from the Drivery, so they actually get paid by the startups in our ecosystem. However, often they obviously get also money, maybe from a POC, or they get funded themselves. So, and on top, that's something for later on, but on top, we are also engaged in one of those companies. So what you see here, this is like our entrance, and it's also one of our event places. So we as a Drivery, we are not only a co-working space, but most and moreover, we are a place for an ecosystem where startups can grow, get together, and we're going to help them. Firstly, to not only help each other, but also to get in touch with corporates. And to do this, we have lots of events here in our lobby, in our entrance area. So there are always a lot of events, as you can see here on the screen. It's always nice events like a drink up at the evening, where just everyone can come and bring lots of friends and family. So people again come together, and basically they're telling everyone what they're doing. So especially in a community as ours, you really need to know your neighbors, and that's what we actually anticipate to do. We also have here, just go down here, are like different kitchens you can use, and we have a regular breakfast for everyone. And what we really like also is the view. So we are at a harbor, but this is not only a nice view, well, except today it's raining, but the more interesting part is this little half island that you see here. For one reason, one of our startups is actually putting the infrastructure for a drone landing place. And this is a very amazing thing, especially for Germany, because there are so many regulations in Germany regarding drones, and this is something that they got an exception. So they are actually allowed to deliver medicine from there to the hospital. And this is the first time ever this is done in Germany. Well, allowed to do in Germany, right? So this is a very amazing thing. The same company, EVA, is also putting a drone place on the other side, where there's like an actual station, where the drone is landing on the station, and the package will be delivered into the station, so you can pick it up. So it's safe for the package and for the environment, and also everyone around it. Right? We, for example, as a company coming in our ecosystem, most of them don't really have insurance. And because they're new and they just didn't think about it, we have an insurance company, one of the largest insurance companies in Germany, and they're directly here. They are very involved in the community, so they're helping a lot of different startups, and obviously they also insure everyone. And this is very, very unique, because you have a company directly here at the Drivery, so you don't have to take care outside the ecosystem. You have everything in-house. What we see here, this is like a room where you can actually build something. So a smaller maker studio where you can produce things, try out things, and also there are different companies in here also really, really helping each other. Right, so even like an incubator we have here, they're doing lots of different events. Now here, what you can see here, this is like one of our shared offices. Right, so we have several of those. So if you want to be in our ecosystem, and you need more than just a flex space where you can basically sit wherever there's some room, you can actually have your very own. And if you are not large enough to get a complete studio, you can share a room. So this is what we are doing here. And sometimes we have like also very big companies here that also just share an office. Not because they don't have the money, obviously, but because they just want to be part of the community and our ecosystem. So this is also, again, very beneficial for the smaller companies here, that they also have the possibility to directly work with companies that are larger. Now, what you see here, this is our event area. We have different event spaces within the Drivery. This is one of them. Basically, what you see here, we call it the hangar. You have like 3 different cubes, and you can either have all 3 of them, or you can just rent one of them for an event. And you have those rolling doors that can be closed. So it kind of has a bit of a feeling as a big airplane hangar, right? Well, a small hangar. We're also very proud to have as many different kitchens. So you can just have a cooking event here, or you can have the catering here, and everyone can use it. You can use this space as part of an entrance and go to our large event room. This event room hosts up to 400 people, and is often used also in different ways, where you have like a stage, and at the corners you have little side rooms where you can have like a workshop. A very big space. It has this industrial style with the ceiling, as you can see it, and also very modern. So this is like a big LED screen for all the presentations. So you don't have to book anything outside. It's everything here. You can get this, or you can even have your own service. You can also bring it. Okay.
Would you say again briefly about the server part that you mentioned?
We have a server park I think it's like a GDX station with 4 Tesla V100s. They have the power of almost 500 teraflops. And we just have this as a service. So if you need to do anything where you actually need this kind of power, you can have it in-house. And this is very, very unique, because usually you don't have a server farm at any place like this. They actually have a complete side of the building. But yes, however, they are also here as a member because I actually want to be part of this community. So I want to be here directly in the Drivery and not just across. So this is very awesome. Again, this is very unique, because if you need anything that you need to change in our infrastructure, or if there are any problems with the Wi-Fi, they're directly here. They can act immediately. You don't have to wait. So if there's anything that needs to be done, they can do it right away. And this is a very, very great offer that we have. This is a very quiet working place, and lots of our Flex members, so they don't have a fixed or shared office. They just come here, they can just sit down, they have lots of screens here that they can use, and they can just work in a more quiet and nice environment, especially with all those plants, and everything is not so clean, because they said little corners where you can just sit and have your own room. Pretty old, it's from the 1920s, and they used to print newspapers here, in the old days. And then it was a fashion place where you can actually buy fashion. And what you see here, it maybe doesn't look that amazing, but this is the longest hanging light ever. It's just 6 floors high, and it's just one single light.
네, 여러분. 지금 이 뒤에 있는 차 알아보시겠나요? 네, Back to the Future 영화에서 나온 차입니다. 아, 정말 놀랍죠? 저는 사실 제 눈이 믿기지가 않는데요. 이곳에 이거를 다 뜯어내서 엔진 같은 경우는 현대, 그리고 다른 파트들은 또 다른 자동차 회사에서 넣어서 프로젝트를 만든다고 합니다. 굉장히 재밌는데요. 한번 타보겠습니다. So maybe if I just drive fast enough, I will reach to maybe 30 years later or 100 years later. 지금 저희는 베를린 드라이버리에 나와 있는데요. 이곳이 어떤 곳인지, 그리고 여기서 어떤 혁신이 일어나고 있는지 여러분들께 소개해드리겠습니다. So, hi Sebastian.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Hi Philip.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So, can I ask you, what are you doing here, and then what is Drivery about?
Yeah, I'm Sebastian. I'm the Director of Investments and Innovation Programs at the Drivery. And literally, at the Drivery, we try to bring together startups, corporates, engage each other in facilitated programs and help them to get to the next step. And literally, this is the core of our idea. I think how we do it and details. Also, Philip can say some words to it.
Okay, so Philip.
Hi, my name is Philip.
Yes.
I'm the director of sales and business development. So basically, it's the Drivery is one ecosystem, one place for startups, for corporations, and we as a Drivery help both of them come together and do something great. And basically, we want all the startups to grow, and one day they can go out just like the children.
And that there are so many incubators in like every country, but I think this with the mobility, I think it's very interesting. I guess not only just offering the spaces, are there any special thing about here?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We hit the sweet spot between incubator and accelerator. That means especially where incubator can't help anymore, where an accelerator is too early, we step in. And the most crucial phase, in the POC phase, where more or less a startup really have to prove their point, to prove the technology together with a B2B partner, a corporate. And especially there, we step in, help them bring both parties together, facilitate it, have our own team which also help and is a buffer zone for it. And this is, I think, our superpower, our specialty about the Drivery.
And then I guess here are many different companies. And then regarding ecosystem, can I ask you like how it works and then some of like good example that you have?
Sure. So
Yeah.
the ecosystem is quite diverse. So you can have a freelancer here, or maybe even a student. They can come here and use our place as a co-working space, as a regular co-working space for a low entry membership. Uh, maybe you grow a little bit and you can have a shared office. Maybe you grow more. Maybe you need your own office. Maybe you just produce something and you can produce everything in house. So we have maker studios where you can produce some smaller prototypes, and you can even produce a large prototypes, like really work on cars, because we have a huge garage where like lots and lots of companies can actually build on cars or just use cars for their services. So this is something that is quite unique, and we have startups that are mobility focused.
Yeah.
We have startups that are automotive focused, and we even have startups who do prosthetics or who build drones, or even just beneficial to the community, like 3D printing services, insurance companies. So everything that you need as a company to basically have here in house.
It sounds really fascinating, but I guess so that there are so many like mobility related startup want to come here, but then I think not everybody can. So is there any like a qualification or anything that you are going through?
Well, first of all, we are trying to be as open-minded as possible. So even if a company is not on a first glance in the mobility sector, we try to understand what they're doing and if they are a fit for the community. In case we don't have any space anymore, we will also find solutions. So we expanded the Drivery several times. The latest extension was for a robotic company who needed a gigantic place to basically assemble robots. So this is again something that we didn't have before, but we always find a solution here.
Sounds amazing. And then also one thing special about it, not only for just like a profit-oriented companies, but also I heard that there is a social company. Maybe can you briefly introduce about the company?
Of course, it's called Horus. They do prosthetics, and it's exactly a perfect success story of the Drivery. I mean, they started with a good idea, with a good vision, with the right team, had a good idea how they want to disrupt the prosthetics market, especially for emerging countries, for underdeveloped countries. And they started with this idea, and through our ecosystem, through our help, through our mentors, we engaged with each other, developed more and more into richly to a profitable business. They do money and help people, and they really have an impact and can more or less make the world walk again. This is really great what they did, and I think this is a perfect example from how an idea, really a seed, can grow up and really flourish into a really profitable company with team members, with international activities. And this is exactly where we always strive for.
I cannot imagine that. Like, I'm so thrilled that how they were gonna change the world to live the life better. Okay, then lastly, is there any word that you can give like shout out to the other like startups in different countries, not only in Germany but Korea, but also maybe Israel or Canada? Maybe Sebastian first.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. There's always one more thing, also at the Drivery, and we're already expanding also our ecosystem, not just regionally but also globally. That means we already have a Drivery at Japan, at South Korea, at Shanghai, and already planning new facilities in Tel Aviv, in Paris, in Detroit. And that means we always want to connect the whole ecosystem of mobility and the best case worldwide.
So what about you, Philip?
Well, the thing that I can always tell startups, even if they're not physically in our space, they can be in our ecosystem. They can benefit from it. This is true for startups. It's also true for corporations. So we don't only want to have like physical spaces in those countries and cities, Sebastian just mentioned, but we also want to have a global ecosystem with startups that would like to be here, that would like to benefit from our marketplace, from our connections, from our network, from our global network, to be honest, and especially with the partnerships that we have in South Korea, Japan, and China. This is something that we can actually do right now. And this is really amazing because mostly you always talk about what you would like to do in the future, and we can actually say, no, we're doing this right now, and now we're expanding.
Go Drivery, go Ally, go global! Yay!